Did we start van life right? Here's what we learned in our first year. Some of our ups.
Get up.
You're really seeing proper Ireland now.
And downs.
Last night we had a bit of a disaster. The water pump for the Caravan failed.
And just take the day as it goes and try and figure out what's what.
And what we change in the future. We plan to start travelling more in 2023 because we absolutely love to travel and it's what we want to spend our lives doing, seeing as much of the world as we can while we're still young enough to do it. At the start of 2023, we flew to London and stayed at the Premier Inn. We went to Thorpe Park because we both love roller coasters, and we also went to the Harry Potter studio tour. We had a great time, but we were stuck to using Ubers because it was out of the way. We couldn't explore as much as we wanted to, so we started to think of other ways to travel.
Taking inspiration from our favourite YouTubers such as Gypsy Souls, Gone with the Winds and Camper Vibe, we started thinking about van life and if we could use our summer to trial it out. The first step would be finding out which vehicle would work the best for us. We used our favourite 3 channels for the 3 different ways of doing it. Gone with the Wind started with a motorhome, but we couldn't do this as we recently bought our first home. And since more people preferred staycations, during COVID the price of motorhomes went through the roof. Camper Vibe resonated with us because they're van lifers and still own their own home. They also have a more budget friendly approach and they are interested in similar locations to us. Gypsy Souls stood out to us because they spent 6 months working and 6 months travelling in Spain in their caravan. Taking the inspiration from these 3 different channels, we decided to try and figure out how to incorporate these ideas into our own lifestyle.
What we decided to try was a touring caravan. At that time, we thought it would be the best way to mix exploration with the safety of a secure caravan site while in locations that we'd never been to. We looked at caravans to get an idea of what was out there, searching through dealers, buy and sell auction sites, looking for an older, cheaper caravan to start off. To see if it was a lifestyle that we wanted to pursue further, but this was way harder than what we thought.
We thought we had seen a brilliant caravan. It was newer, looked immaculate, great spec, we were ready to go for it, and then when we done the usual checks, we found damp in one of the worst spots you can get.
So, before you make the mistake that we almost did, here's a handy checklist to help you out.
Checking for damp. Main points: front windows, in the gas locker, specifically under the front window, round the rest of the windows, the bathroom, and underneath the caravan. So when checking for damp, you're looking where the window meets the wall and you're checking for sponginess. If there's any sponginess, it means that water has got into the wood. Checking around the rest of the windows, especially up the sides. If you have any skylights, just make sure you give a wee check of these as well. Sometimes they can pull up water.
Warning, be wary of sellers who have heavily scented smells in their caravan. For example, candles or air fresheners, because this could be a huge sign that they're covering up damp.
Check everything works. Check the fridge works. Make sure you also check for broken windows. You also want to check your tyres, check your brake lights, indicators, and just make sure everything works.
Depending on the age of the caravan, some wear and tear may be expected. And remember, this list also works for motorhomes. By chance, we ended up with a second-hand caravan that was in great condition despite its age. A 2001 Bailey Pageant Champagne. It was dry as a bone, well looked after, and below average wear and tear for the age. So, now that we have the caravan, the next step was kitting it out. You have your normal essentials, cutlery, kitchen appliances, bedding.
But you also have caravan essentials such as Aquarule, Wastemaster, Torta Chemicals, and gas. And here's a list of things that you wouldn't think of, such as wheel chocks, spirit level, levelling ramps, winding rod for the legs, stack of jacks for the legs, which are absolutely essential. The reason you need these, if your caravan is off the level, the legs won't touch the ground, so these will make up the difference. In some instances, like our Donegal trip, which you can watch by clicking the link above, we wouldn't have gotten the great view that we had.
Our travels started off at the Antrim coast in Bushmills. because of three main reasons. Reason 1, we love the area and we travel here most summers. Reason 2, the site came highly recommended by everyone we asked. And reason 3, it's not too far from home if we needed anything.
For this being our first trip, we absolutely fell in love. We were able to explore and felt so relaxed. The site was immaculate and even had a dedicated dog walk for Rosie.
Next, we visited Omagh. We went to Glen Park Estate, which is a bit further from home. Again, an amazing experience, but very different from Bushmills, being that it was our first forest park.
We then planned a much further trip to Donegal, which was by far our best experience and again a completely different type of site. It was pretty much on the beach. These 3 trips were wildly different than anything we'd ever experienced before. This gave us the first taste of what van life could potentially be, and we started to fall in love with it. And we haven't even left our own island yet.
We went on to book more trips, explore more, and discover that this lifestyle is definitely worth pursuing. On top of exploring and starting to change our lifestyle, stepping out of our comfort zone, we also decided to try our hand at vlogging, so we could share this experience with all of you and make memories for ourselves.
At the time of making this video, we have almost 100 subscribers. We are thankful for all of you. It motivates us to try new things, and if you enjoy our videos and haven't yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Let us know your ideas for future content in the comments. It's not just about us travelling, but about taking you with us.
So, is caravanning right for us? The answer is yes and no. Yes, because it allowed us to start our adventures and pursue a more active lifestyle. It's given us a taste of what van life could be, and it's definitely something that we want to continue.
And no, because although it has given us the van life bug, it has only given us so much freedom. We're still stuck to a campsite, and while that's great for longer stays, we like to move around. Sites can be expensive and need to be booked well in advance, taking the spontaneity out of it.
So, what does this all mean? After learning how to get the most out of the caravan and stay cost effective, the plan's to go to campsites further away with lots around them to explore. This means changing the way future trips are planned.
As well as exploring Ireland, we do have a trip to Corfu, although this is by plane and hotel. We want to balance travelling at home and in other countries as best we can, with the long-term goal maybe being a van conversion and pursuing van life abroad.
So stay with us as we continue our adventures in Ireland and beyond. Yes, because it allowed us to start
You know, it's snip it out. So for the front windows, you're looking for sponginess around the wall that meets the window, specifically. Check everything works. Check everything works. Check everything works. No. We want to balance travelling at home and in other countries as best we can, with the long-term goal maybe being a van conversion and pursuing van life abroad. I want to do it again because I f***ed up.
So, is caravanning right for us? The answer is yes and no.